First time
Thank you for those of us joining us online. Thank you for bearing with us as we get everything set up. We're grateful for everyone who's joining us online and in person. Thank you guys for coming together. I am Donnie Khan from Westchester Progressives and American Muslims Indivisible. We have been brought here together in our concern over the bigoted dog whistles that we're hearing from George Latimer's campaign for Congress. I think we've felt this since day one as he declared his campaign to run against our incumbent Congressman Jamal Bowman. But over the last couple of months, as the outside money has been pouring in, we feel like the dog whistles have really ramped up too. So we're truly grateful for everyone who's here. We've joined here by Muslim, Jewish, and other organizations in our rally here today who will each speak. I will let you know that we're joined by Engage Action. We're joined by Black Westchester Magazine. We have Protect Our Power in the House. We have Working Families Party and Jewish Voices for Peace. I also want to mention that our friends from Jews for Jamal are supposed to be here, but they ended up taking the wrong train, so we'll be able to join us. But we are well represented by the Jewish community here today. So we're so thrilled to have everyone here. And I won't take any more time from everyone else's speeches. We'll speak for about 3 to 5 minutes each, and then I'll come back at the end and kind of wrap it up. So first and foremost, we'll kick it off with Haba Khalil from Engage Action New York. Haba, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you guys so much for being here with us today. My name is Haba Khalil, and I'm the Executive Director of the New York Metro Chapter at Engage Action. The recent comments of George Latimer during his debate with Congressman Bowman, stating that Bowman's constituency was Dearborn, Michigan this week, have caused significant concern and outrage amongst the Westchester community. Dearborn is the first majority Arab American city in the United States. These statements, which were undeniably anti-Arab and Islamophobic, do not reflect the values of inclusivity, respect, and unity that we strive to uphold in Westchester. Islamophobia or any form of bigotry has no place in Westchester, especially not from those elected to represent and serve all citizens. The comments made were not only hurtful and divisive, but also undermine the principles of equality and mutual respect and the form of foundation of our democracy. To our Muslim brothers and sisters, your contributions to our community in Westchester and Dearborn are invaluable, and you deserve to be treated with the same dignity and respect as any other citizen. We stand with you in solidarity against hate and discrimination. It is imperative that our leaders engage in sincere efforts to understand and address the issues facing all constituents, particularly those from marginalized communities. We must also ensure that there are mechanisms in place to hold public officials like Latimer accountable for their words and actions. Let us reaffirm our commitment to building a more inclusive and compassionate society. Let us stand together against hatred in all its forms and work tirelessly to create a future where everyone feels safe, respected, and valued. Thank you so much.
Very good, very good. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Heba, for getting us started. Up next, we're so proud to have Damon K. Jones from Black Westchester Magazine. You can find him at blackwestchester.com and also on this podcast. Damon, thank you for joining us today. Come on up.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Damon K. Jones, D-A-M-O-N-K-J-O-N-E-S for the videotape, and I am the publisher of Black Westchester Magazine. I am also the New York representative of Blacks in Law Enforcement of America. And I just want to make it plain here. We have seen racism. We all know what racism looks like. And as a black man born in America, I know what racism looks like. George Latimer's campaign is full of bigotry and racism, and is disrespectful to the Arab and Muslim community, and not just CD16, but Westchester County. When you have many Arab and Muslims that work for this county government right here. I worked for the Department of Corrections for 33 years, and there are Arab and Muslim officers that put their life on the line. And when they hear their county exec throw out these dog whistles, dismiss the 31,000 women and children and even innocent men that was killed in Palestine, what does that say to the workers in the county? What does that say to the county legislators that are openly silent? What does that say to those who claim that they are followers of Jesus Christ when the descendants of Jesus Christ are being slaughtered because Jesus was a Palestinian. We are living in a time that our humanity is being checked by the Most High God. And we are here to stand on the right side of history and push back against bigotry that is led by the George Latimer campaign. When he said to Jamal Bowman that his interest is only black and brown people, why? Does he think he is our white savior? No, he enjoyed the support of black and brown people for 33 years. But now he has threw that support aside because he's just a hitman for AIPAC and other, what would they call, lobbying firms that put a lot of money to send our tax dollars to support genocide. So I'm here in solidarity, and we need to send George Latimer a message on June 25th that this type of bigotry and division is not welcome in Westchester County. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Damon. Really appreciate you coming out today. And right now, we have Stephen from Jewish Voices for Peace who's going to come up and say a few words to represent our Jewish community.
Thank you. I'm Steve Stiegelbaum, not Harry Soloway, from JVP, Westchester. It occurs to me, as my brother here mentioned, Latimer's campaign trading on racism and Islamophobia. That's obvious. But it occurs to me that it's also anti-Semitic. Because does my man Latimer think that he's going to get Jewish votes by catering to racism and Islamophobia? No, he's not. No, he's not. He's not going to get Jewish votes any more than he should be getting anyone else's votes using that. What is this, Mississippi 1964? That's how you used to get votes in Mississippi 1964. This is Westchester 2024. And we're not going to tolerate the kind of racist dog whistles that Latimer plays on. See if you can chant with me. Hey, George Latimer, what's the matter with you? Hey, George Latimer, what's the matter with you? One more. Hey, George Latimer, what's the matter with you? Catering to hate and fear.
Catering to hate and fear.
Racist crap, don't go down here.
Racist crap, don't go down here.
Hey, George Latimer, what's the matter with you?
Hey, George Latimer, what's the matter with you?
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Stephen, and thank you everyone here for braving the rain. I think this already makes us stronger than Donald Trump, that we're not canceling anything because of a little rain, so thank you guys all for sticking around. Right now, I'd like to hand it over to Ella Weber, the incredible force behind Protect Our Power. Thank you so much for coming by.
Hi everyone, my name is Ella Weber. It's ELLAWEBER. Weber is with one B. I'm a member of Protect Our Power, a cross-movement coalition of young people working to re-elect progressive champions as they face challengers funded by AIPAC and Republican donors. Throughout the entirety of his campaign, George Latimer has made it clear that he couldn't care less about representing New York 16. He has continued to make racist dog whistles that divide communities in the Democratic Party. For the past few years, young people have worked to show the Democratic Party the kinds of ideas and candidates that inspire us. Candidates like Jamal Bowman. Congressman Bowman is fighting alongside us to protect our democracy, work towards peace, and build a planet we'd be proud to pass on. Time and time again, Congressman Bowman has provided a voice for young people in Congress and fought alongside our movements to make progress on the most pressing issues of our time. Now AIPAC, UDP, and MAGA billionaires are threatened by young people's growing political power in Congress. So they're spending millions of dollars to oust Congressman Bowman. George Latimer and his campaign represent the exact opposite of our calls for justice, peace, and building a multiracial democracy. George Latimer's racist comments implying that he has no interest in representing Muslim constituents are dangerous and hateful, but unfortunately not surprising. In the past 5 years, we've seen the consequences of Trump and MAGA Republicans' hateful and bigoted rhetoric. Now Latimer is picking up their talking points. Unfortunately, that's not surprising given his donor base. Latimer and his supporters have consistently made dog whistle remarks toward Bowman and minority voters. Just last month, when young voters confronted a Latimer donor outside a Republican-hosted fundraiser, the donor stated she's supporting Latimer because she's upset Bowman is standing up for, quote, black justice, unquote. As young people, we are deeply concerned about the Republican influence in the New York 16 race. We are disgusted by George Latimer and his supporters' continued blatant racism. He does not represent young people or our values because he's in the pockets of billionaire MAGA donors who are funding his campaign and feeding him talking points. On the other hand, Jamal Bowman has actively shown up for all communities regardless of faith or background. We cannot let the voice of our generation in Congress, Jamal Bowman, be ousted by MAGA Republicans and those who are most hostile to our calls for peace, safety, justice, and a livable world. We encourage young voters and young people and voters across New York 16 to reject Latimer's hateful rhetoric at the ballot box on or before June 25th.
Thank you so much, Ella. Up next, joining us from the Working Families Party, Jennifer Cabrera. Thank you, Jennifer, for coming by. Come on up.
Hello, my name is Jennifer Cabrera, and I am the co-chair of the Westchester Putnam Working Families Party chapter. My name is spelled Jennifer The Working Families Party describes itself as a party that represents the multiracial working class. We have seen time and again in Westchester that the voices of the multiracial working class in this county are continually ignored and pushed to the side in favor of the voices of the rich and the powerful. This imbalance has been exemplified and exploited in our county executive's bid to unseat Westchester's first black congressman. Enough is enough. When our county executive says on a right-wing radio show that black voters coming out to make their voices heard skews an election, it is wrong. The 2020 election was one of the first elections in this county that was actually closer to representing the views of the people of Westchester County.
Yes.
Elections where we have single-digit voter participation are the elections that are skewed. And Westchester officials have been satisfied with those elections for far too long because that lack of engagement is what keeps them in power. Enough is enough. When our county executive ignores openly racist comments by his supporters on his Facebook page, when he's so quick to dismiss critiques from his critics all over social media, that is racist, that is wrong. Enough is enough. When our county executive says that Jamal Bowman represents Dearborn or Astoria, we know what he's doing. It is Islamophobic, it is racist, and it is wrong. So to George Latimer, we say no more. Our voices matter, and we will make our voices heard on June 25th. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. We really appreciate it. And then last, but certainly not least, we had Ziad Ramadan from American Muslim Civic Engagement Group. Ziad, thank you so much for joining us. If you could say a few words.
Sometimes I have to hold my head I shake it and I can't believe what he's done. He mentions Dearborn, which is an insinuation about Arabs and Muslims, and he mentions San Francisco, which insinuates diversity, and he attacks them. He attacks the Arabs and Muslims and the diversity in his district. And he's insinuating that we don't belong here, that we're not part of the fiber of District 16 in Westchester. A dog whistle. My 12-year-old son said that he's afraid someone's going to kill him because he's Palestinian. George Latimer doesn't feel that. And when he says these things on the radio shows and says, he basically is saying black people wouldn't come out to vote if George Floyd didn't get killed. They don't know any better. It's an insult to an entire race and the constituents in his district. Jamal Bowman wouldn't even be our congressman if George Floyd wasn't killed. That a black man isn't deserved to represent this district. The hatred that he is spewing, I shake my head, I grab my head and I shake it. I can't believe this is a man I know. But then I realized he went to Israel and came back and basically has been the voice box for AIPAC. What's really frightening about that is that AIPAC unequivocally, look at their website, basically says, we're for one thing, and that's whatever that war criminal Bibi Netanyahu says. And if there's a genocide and if there's ethnic cleansing, I'm going to carry that water. How dare he? How could he put his head on a pillow every single night while tens of thousands of babies, women, and innocent civilians, UN relief workers, aid workers from around the world are being slaughtered and massacred by the IDF war machine? And George Latimer doesn't say anything about that. Don't get me wrong, October 7th was wrong, and the killing of any innocent people, any civilians, is horrifying and against our faith, let alone everybody else's faith. But I shake my head, and I tell you that George Latimer is not fit to represent the good people of District 16. The Latinos, the blacks, the LGBTQ, the Muslims, the Arabs, the Irish, the Italians. Because if you can go on public radio and insult any large segment or any segment of your community whatsoever, then you don't represent the community. If someone had said what Latimer said about Arabs and Muslims and diversity, and if they said that about Jews, they would immediately call him. His career would have been over as fast as that sentence came out of his mouth. And his career should be over too. This is a constitutional democracy. What you want for one people, you should want for everyone. He clearly has disdain for people of color. He clearly has disdain for Arabs and Muslims. He clearly has disdain for diversity, and he is unfit to be the congressman for D16. Thank you.
Thank you, Dion, for that. I said last but not least, but we actually have one more speaker. We are delighted to have Kamran Saliani, district leader from East Irvington and Elmsford. Kamran, thank you so much for joining us.
The light behind it. I'm so sorry. No, you're good.
Thank you, everyone.
It faded and...
My name is Kamran. I'm a lifelong Iranian-American resident of Westchester County and a proud Democratic Party district leader for the Westchester County Democratic Committee. My name is spelled Kamran, R-A-N. I love the Democratic Party and the ideals it ideally stands for. The first Democrat I ever voted for was Barack Obama for president. And when you start your career voting for a candidate like that, for an office of that power, your hope and love of what politics can be is unbounded. I've been fortunate enough to watch and learn about the county from George Latimer as an executive. I always found him to be smart, understanding, decent. After the comments made on Monday night, I felt something I had not felt before. Pain, heartbreak, sadness, and fear. So on behalf of the present and future Arab, Persian, Muslim communities of the district, of the Arab and Persian communities of Scarsdale and Co-op City, the Persian communities of Irvington and Ardsley, the Syrian communities of Harrison and Wakefield, the Lebanese communities of Tarrytown and Mount Vernon, the Jordanian communities of New Rochelle and Fairview, the Yemeni communities of Ardsley, the Palestinian communities of Yonkers, the Iraqi communities of Hastings, the Saudi Arabian communities of Dobbs Ferry and Bronxville, the Emirati communities of Hartsdale, Larchmont, and White Plains, the Qatari communities of Rye and Mamaroneck, the Kuwaiti communities of Pelham and Greenville, the Pakistani, the Omani, the communities of New Rochelle, the Kurdish communities of Harrison, and the Turkish and Afghani communities of Tuckahoe, and so on and so on. George, if you win this race of immense power and influence, will you accept us for who we are? Will you protect us as you protect others? Will you celebrate our holidays with us? Will you break bread with our families? Will you nurture our children, care for our elders? Will you learn about the rich, diverse traditions of love, peace, and gratitude we believe in? The invitation has always been and always will be offered. We hope you will accept and embrace it. God bless you, George. Peace and love to you forever and always. Please, please, don't forget us and love us as you do to all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kamran, for those incredible words. I think we're coming to a close now. I just want to mention once again, I am Donnie Khan from Westchester Progressives and American Muslims Indivisible. You can reach me at westchesterprogressives@gmail.com. You can also follow us at Westchester Progressives on Instagram, at We Progressives on Twitter, X, and find us. I just want to thank everyone on the live stream, all the speakers here, all the folks behind me who came out here for support. Truly appreciate it, from the Muslim community, from the Black community.